Hey there, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Adrian. I'm a freelance artist and I'm working on a mixed media portrait that I'm considering making prints of. For anyone interested in a print of the piece that I'm working on, please feel free to check out my online shop once I open it, or comment below so I know how many I should make. Feel free to sit back and bust your own sketchbook out and draw with me, and if you're stumped on what to draw on your sketchbook, I hope this helps. I was initially inspired to do this piece because of the reference photo that I used. It was of this gorgeous model with spiked hair and more of a glam or editorial makeup style fused with a stereotypical punk rock look. I really thought about playing around with that concept, mixing the more traditional punk culture and fashion with the stripped down and consumerist version that it's become by a lot of fashion brands. For those that don't know, punk isn't just a fashion style or music genre, but an entirely separate subculture that can be dated back to the Black and queer communities in the UK during the 1970s. Most depictions of punk rock have sadly been heavily gentrified, and most of the punk rock bands that might come to the average music fan's mind is likely fronted by white men, not the people that pioneered the subculture, the music genre, and the fashion that we associate it with. So it was really refreshing to see this gorgeous black woman with a punk look, even if it was clearly mixed with a more conservative and glammed up version for a fashion magazine. In light of that, my later plan for this, something that I might add footage to in a future studio vlog, is adding a layer of iron-on patches, enamel pins, and lots of more realistic details to her jacket. As the original model's jacket was completely bare of any such details, I wanted to reach out to anyone that's a part of the current punk community or anyone that knows anyone of that community to suggest in the comments here or message me through Instagram with what phrases, bands, and graphics that they'd like to see on the jacket. So the piece that I'm working on is technically still a work in progress. I'm really excited to see what some of y'all come up with, and I'd love to make this piece a collaborative one, especially to highlight how much community work is such a key part in punk culture. I also wanted to add some graffiti typography to the background, but I'm still debating over that concept as I don't want to make the piece too cluttered, especially if I'm adding onto the jacket, since I want to keep the model and her jacket as the focal point here. I actually ended up doing two different versions of this, the first one being one that fit the darker skin tone of the model that this piece is based on, but the footage of that was sadly damaged and inspired me to make a second version of this piece, using a medium brown skin tone so that I could offer both options to make the piece more inclusive for anyone that's looking for a version of her that looks the closest to them. Both versions are posted on my Instagram for anyone interested, but I decided to film the second version of this piece so I could still make a video and ask all of you to have fun with suggesting what you'd like to see on both their jackets when I'm done. I might even make the jackets have two different sets of pins and patches if I get enough suggestions. This piece was a bit more experimental for me since I'll be making it more like something between small collage work and mixed media illustration. I've been working on making more mixed media illustrations to try and get a better feel for which mediums I'd like to stick with developing techniques with, and in the past I've usually stuck with colored pencil, ink, and marker, but I've wanted to work with gouache and watercolor as well lately, and after getting into abstract art with acrylic paint in my second semester of studying art in college, acrylic paint markers and pens really caught my eye. I know a lot of artists joke about wanting a specific look and consistency in their art style, but I actually don't want to pin my style down to just one look, especially after I started getting interested in abstract art and working on clothes. A lot of you have mentioned that I have an almost coloring book style when it comes to rendering with markers, with not a lot of layering or gradients with them, and originally that was because I wanted more of an emphasis in terms of the little details in line art, but I'd really like to experiment with that from now on and learn more techniques with them, especially since it takes much less time to finish and film the pieces that I do with marker rather than watercolor, so I'll likely stay on my recent marker kick for a little while longer. For this piece, I'm currently using a combination of Prismacolor Premier, Spectrum Noir, and Copic Ciao and sketch markers. I don't think I've seen anyone online using the Spectrum Noir and Prismacolor alcohol markers, and I'm really not sure why, especially the Prismacolor markers. When I first started taking my art more seriously in middle school, I started off with a 12-color set of Prismacolor Premier dual-tip alcohol markers. I got them for my birthday, and the Michaels that I lived near at the time sold most of their colors and had a whole section of an aisle just for Prismacolor brand supplies. Now, at the time, they were the cheapest alcohol marker I knew of, aside from Michael's Artist Loft brand, especially in comparison to the Copic markers that they kept in a locked cabinet. I'm sad to say that they don't sell the markers at my Michael's at all anymore, and I don't know if that's the case at any other stores, but I was pretty upset about it when I found out that I'd have to hunt for replacement markers. They aren't refillable like Copic's, but frankly, most artists starting out with alcohol markers don't have the budget to get the oh-so-coveted refillable Copic's. And newer, more affordable brands like HYUKOH and ArtX only entered the market really recently. They've honestly lasted me a really long time. Granted, that's because I didn't use them nearly as much as I do now, but I still have all of my original markers from when I was 13 now. And they're still not dried out, and the tips are all intact, and I still think that they're the easiest to make a flat, even wash of color without a lot of work or rushing to make sure that all the ink lays evenly. I especially like using them for skin tones for this purpose, because the absolute worst thing that can happen with my markers for me is being halfway through a face and the ink in my marker drying out or having to rush and fill that section as quickly as possible to try and get a nice flat wash in that spot. This is absolutely not sponsored, by the way. I just really don't get why people don't talk about these markers, and frankly, why my Michaels decided to stop selling them, aside from maybe just wanting their Artist Loft markers to have less competition in that aisle. They're also a little more affordable than Winsor & Newton Promarkers and Copics, but without losing that quality because of the better price. I'm honestly not a big fan of Spectrum Noir markers for a lot of reasons, but I was gifted a bunch of packs of them years ago, and they came in sets that had the lighter variations of those colors to more easily blend, as well as a lot of nice pastel and floral colors. Their colors are really nice, but I can't say I'd recommend them, namely because their brush tip lines are very prone to damage tips, and their colors are not even remotely close to the color displayed on the cap of their markers. Some of their markers also have this funny little feature that I've mentioned in a previous video of forming a lovely little ring of distorted color around wherever you color with it if you use it under or over markers of another brand. So I have to be very careful with where I use them and to only blend or layer with other markers of Spectrum Noir's brand. If anyone would like me to do a review of all the markers that I've used over the years and which ones I'd recommend, feel free to let me know in the comments. I've been thinking about picking up a set of Ohuhu or ArtX markers too because they're pretty cheap, but look like better quality than the Artist Loft markers from Michaels, so I'd be really happy to make a review of those too for anyone interested. In my previous video, I mentioned trying Copic's Gasenfude nylon brush pen to render black hair, but I decided to use my Prismacolor Premier marker because of the nice even layer of jet black ink that it gave, rather than the brush pen that I used in my last video, as while it's great for getting the separate strands of long hair down, it wasn't quite as well suited for an even layer of solid black ink that I was looking for. I used it on her jacket though, because I wanted a more expressive graphic style, and though it's hard to tell from the lighting with my camera, I was trying to get more of the look of highlights and tone shifts used in comic books. It's also not very noticeable until later, but the ink in the brush pen is a bit lighter than the ink from Copic's Multiliners, so I chose it so I wouldn't lose the original line art. It made it a lot easier to find the lines to add the silver detailing to the zippers and buttons on her jacket. I decided to use a variety of metallic pens and markers to get a better range of different sheens and effects throughout the jacket, as well as when I moved onto her silver jewelry. The silver Decobrush was nice for a bright silver that wasn't quite as reflective as a real metal, but has those shimmery microparticles that look really nice when you move the page a bit. I thought that'd be a really fun feature to play with when I turn this piece into a print, making sure that all the silver parts are reflective. And for that bright reflective silver that I was looking for at the end, I used a Uni-Ball Signo gel pen to get the brightest highlights. I decided to make her makeup and top a bit brighter to add more contrast to the piece. Though I know lots of black is perfectly traditional with punk fashion, I know it's certainly not the sole color allowed, and I wanted to allow more color to enter the piece with the pins and patches that I plan on adding to the jacket, rather than just using a limited color palette for the base here. I had a lot of fun with making her eye makeup in particular, and used a combination of layering marker and colored pencil to finish it. I started with a base layer of marker, then added the first darker shades between her drawn eyebrows with a colored pencil. Then I started adding the darker values of her eyeshadow with a darker marker and began to blend it out with the first marker that I used to make a smoother gradient. I went back over the lips and eyes again with a colored pencil to start building up more dimension, and give the lips a better texture to emulate the look of a matte lipstick more. Finally, at least for this part of the process for this piece, I went back in with my Uni-Ball Signo gel pen to add more of that reflective silver sheen to the buttons and zipper on her jacket. Like I said, the final part of this piece is going to be a collaborative effort, and my mission for all of you is to suggest what you'd like to see on the jacket. And definitely feel free to share this video with any members of the punk community online or in your friend group, because I'm really excited to see everyone's suggestions when they come in. Once I have enough to add onto the jacket, I'll either make a separate process video where I finish this piece up, or I'll stitch it in with the footage of a studio vlog that I'm planning. As always, if anyone has any questions about what supplies I'm using, or anyone would like to suggest what I make a video of next, please feel free to suggest it in the comments below. I've had a lot of fun with making this piece so far, So I'm really looking forward to seeing how it turns out once I add the patches to it. I'll leave you some music for the rest of this video, so I hope that you all have a great day. Bye!
I've just seen a ghost. The memories I hate the most. Reflections I feel was something I forgot were real. A little view of the past. I promise all of this is not gonna last. Trust me, I know. Ya no quiero que llores. The universe is gonna give you muchas flores. Quítate ese miedo. You'll be a lot more, trust me, yo te entiendo. Mama, I apologize. I'm not what you thought in your mind. But I promise I'll be with all the love that you gave me. But you will make it far. All of the wishes that you begged from the start, they will come true. Ya no quiero que llores. The universe is gonna give you muchas flores. You'll be a lot more, trust me, yo te entiendo. I know times are hard right now, but I promise you'll be alright. Ya no quiero que llores. The universe is gonna give you muchas flores.
Look back in bitterness, going back to broken pieces past. Staying memories, staying stepping forward to real. I'm stupid, wondering profile, giving up to living the peace that we might be falling. Oh, how gentle wave on an ocean of recall. I watch your pain. The same as mine. Long story, truly short. Rewind, never over again. Hard to find the rest. Worried I'll never can stand. I'm stupid, blind old man, denying such a bright light. Give up close to living the peace that we may be falling. Oh, how gentle wave on an ocean of recall. 그래서 그런 건가 늘 어렵다니까 잃기 두려웠던 욕심 속에도 작은 예쁨이 있지 난 지금 행복해 그래서 불안해 폭풍전 바다는 늘 고요하니까 불이 붙어 빨리 타면 안 되잖아 나는 사랑을 응원해 젊은 우리 나이 때는 잘 보이지 않고 찬란한 빛 제 눈이 멀어 꺼져가는데 슬픈 어른은 늘 뒷걸음만 치고 미운 숨물을 넘긴 넌 지루해 보여 불이 붙어 빨리 타면 안 되니까 우리 사랑을 응원해 젊은 우리 나이 때는 잘 보이지 않고 찬란한 빛 제 눈이 멀어 꺼져가는데 그래 그때 나는 잘 몰랐었어 우린 다른 점만 닮